guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Although I would love to start a stream when everything is good, but right now things are not looking good. Okay, let me just settle it once. There you go. Yeah. So right now things are you are seeing the live views of the rocket thanks to spaceflight now for providing them, but the weather is not looking good as I started the stream. We are at a hold at t minus 4 minutes, so this is a planned hold for Atlas 5, and in this they plan to resolve any technical issue, weather issues, and all those things. So right now there are 3 reds for the weather parameters, and there is also one technical issue with Atlas 5. There is one sensor issue which they are trying to resolve, although the Atlas 5 is fully fueled and is being topped off with all the rocket fuel and everything, but yeah, we have to see whether it lifts off or not today. We have a 2-hour launch window, so that's a plus point, but right now they are still proceeding with the countdown, but it can very well happen that we will have a hold at t minus 4 minutes for a longer period of time. So right now they are still proceeding with the timer in the hope that the weather would improve at the time of the launch. So first of all, welcome all to the stream. Hi, Andrew Crawl, welcome. Wildflower, welcome. Tony Brooks and Rocket Launch Mania, the killer. You are not the only space nerd. We all are the space nerds. You can say that. Yeah. So since we have some time, we can have a look at the things which we need to know about this rocket, right? And this mission. So this mission is the Atlas 5. It will carry this feature this Atlas 5 541 configuration. This is the rocket which will fly, and this is how it looks like. So the by 541 configuration, what I mean is that it will have a 5-meter fairing, which is a longer fairing, which you can see. In this fairing only the payload as well as the second stage is housed. By 4 we mean 4 solid rocket boosters. 4 of them are here, and then by 1 means we have a 1 Centaur engine in this one. So that is the case with the Atlas 5. So talking about the Atlas 5 itself, let's have a look at the rocket. High flying the bug and space many exact. Yep, 2 in a day, 3 in a day. This one, yeah, this you can say this is the 4th one actually in a 24 hours, and I am so tired right now. I can't just tell you. But fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you want to say, the Virgin Orbit stream did not happen, but I still streamed it for like 10 minutes or so, because as soon as I streamed, we got to know that it has been scrubbed. So there you go. But yeah, it has been quite a long day for me. I'm very tired, and it's 3 a.m. right now in my country, and I have to wake I think this stream will go on for like 5 a.m. or so, and I have a license test at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So yeah, the things are not looking good, and then I have to pack my things up to go out and start my new phase of life. So I am really very busy and very tired, but yes, I am here for you to with you to cover this launch, and let's hope this launches today. License test, the driving license test. Yeah, that is okay. So first of all, this one. This is the Atlas 5 541 configuration. You can see that in here we have the SRBs, the 4 solid rocket boosters in here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. They uses a Vulcan is coming up, and they will be using the gem SRBs, but they are the standard ones. Can say that I think they have been upgraded also. I have to check that once, but yeah, these are the SRBs running on HTPB as its fuel. And if we just you know remove them, we get to know the first stage. This is the first stage of the Atlas V. This runs on RD-180 engine. So this engine may it may look like it has two there are two engines in this rocket, but that is not the case. It is only one engine with dual combustion chamber and dual nozzle. So this configuration with just one turbo pump and dual combustion chamber and dual nozzle actually helps to divide the pressure into two combustion chamber, divide the workload into two combustion chamber. Therefore you don't have to handle with deal with the extremely high temperature and pressure in just one combustion chamber. So that is the advantage. So there we have that. Then we have the first stage. When it is then that is discarded, but I think before that the fairing is discarded. So there you go, the first stage is discarded. In here you can see that this is how it looks like. When the fairing goes, this is how it looks like, and when the second stage goes, this is how it looks like. Talking about the exploded view, this is the exploded view. You can see each and every part. These are the discs which support the just a second. Yeah, these are the discs which support the view, those weight of the Centaur engine. And yeah, this is how it looks like. Let me just see if we what is this disturbance? So yeah, the latest update that it has been delayed. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, there you have it. Hey, Spaceman Exact, thank you so much for that 9.99 tea coffee fun time. Yeah, it would be very nice of you, because seriously I need one right now for sure. Okay, thank you so much. Really very much appreciated, Spaceman Exact. And yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so let's have a look at the rocket. Since now we have looked at the rocket, let's have a look at the engine. This is the RD-180 engine. So this is a Russian made engine, but thankfully Tori Bruno was smart enough to acquire all the RD-180 engines which are needed for the remaining Atlas V. And because of that, there is no Russian engine in Russia. They are all in US, so he can just fly the Atlas V as much he want till the end of Atlas V life. So this uses a single turbopump assembly which is in here, but has two combustion chamber and two nozzles. So this is how it looks like. Now talking about the payload, this one is actually having two payloads for USSF-12. First one, this is the Wild Field of View Testbed. This is the primary payload for the US Space Force. And this WFOV testbed is an overhead persistent infrared technology demonstrator that will mature and prove the effectiveness of its 6-degree starring sensor called wide area 6-degree payload. So this, all those technical terms aside, but this will be capable of performing strategic and tactical missions such as battle space awareness, missile warning, directly supporting warfighters by monitoring Earth's surface respectively. This will also help in missile warning, tracking and defense architecture. This is based on Millennium Space Systems Aquila M8 satellite bus. It has two deployable solar panels, which you can see here, producing around 2500 watts of power. It is powered by a bipropellant propulsion system, and it weighs around 3 tons. With the 3 tons is the total payload weight. total satellite weight, and the payload weight is around 350 kilograms with the instruments and all those, and it is designed for only 3 to 5 years on orbit. So it's a very heavy payload, but then also the instruments and everything which it is taking is you can say a very advanced one. So there you have it. And this is how it looks like once it is deployed in space. The wild field what should it wide field of view test bed. So this is, there you go. Now the next one is a very interesting one, USSF-12 Ring spacecraft. So this is how it is pronounced, how it is named basically. The secondary payload of the USSF-12 mission is the ESPA, which is the EELV secondary payload adapter star platform built by Northrop Grumman. It weighs around 740 to 780 kilograms, and it has a room for up to 6 hosted or up to 12 deployable payloads. So this is kind of, you know, a deployer spacecraft which will have the power capability, the propulsion capability, as well as the communication capability. So some sort of deployer from Northrop Grumman, and each of the 6 payload slots can carry a payload of around 320 kilograms. So you know, unlike the CubeSat deployers which we have seen in the transporter mission, the rideshare missions of PSLV, and all other rideshare missions of other agencies, this is not a CubeSat deployer. This is a proper satellite deployer, each of them carrying around 320 kilograms of weight, which you can see here. And it has a deployable solar panel array of 1200 watt of power. And yes, as I said, it has a hydrazine based propulsion system. So this is a classified mission, but it will demonstrate a proper a satellite deployer in geosynchronous orbit. So there you have it. Now talking about the next part, this is the very cool mission patch which I wanted you to see. So I'll now try to include all the mission patches as much as possible because they are so good to look at. So this is a very cool mission patch, you know, futuristic design with obviously this is the Space Force logo and the USSF-12 mission patch in here, but it looks really very cool. And you know, the whole kind of whole Earth is behind it in a weird way, but yeah, that is how it is. Now moving on to the mission profile and all those things. Okay, so the latest update is that brief light rain could fall on the pad shortly. So okay, so that is happening. Weather is still red, countdown is holding, but right now the launch weather conditions are only 20% favorable for the early part of today's 2-hour launch window and improving to 60% by the end. Okay, that is good enough. And launch team that we are in a good holding position. Will wait for weather to clear. Today's available launch window remains open till 8 p.m. EDT. So we have a 2-hour launch window, and it is expected to improve as the window comes to an end. So talking about this is the launch vehicle, and this is we have already discussed about the launch vehicle. This is this is how the the spacecraft looks like. The WFOV spacecraft, the payload adapter obviously to separate both of them, the USSF-12 Ring spacecraft, and then again a payload adapter. So this satellite is going to a geosynchronous orbit. Yes, this is going to a geosynchronous orbit, and Centaur will be doing all the job to deploy the satellite into a geosynchronous orbit, not a geosynchronous transfer orbit, but a proper geosynchronous orbit. So therefore this mission is quite a long mission, which you can see here. The liftoff will happen at around obviously the liftoff will happen at t+0 seconds. Then all the boosters will separate, and do you know these boosters, even after they burn out, they are still attached with the Atlas V payload, Atlas V rocket, and after some time they are detached. There is one reason for that, and if you know, please type in the chat and I'll tell you obviously. But yeah, so the Mark 1 will be achieved before this, and then the fairing will separate. Then the MECO will happen. The first stage will separate. The second stage will ignite. Then the second stage will cut off. The second stage will again ignite, cut off, again ignite, and then there will be a long cost phase. Which basically, if we go as per the plan here, you can see the first main engine start will happen at t plus 4 minutes. The second stage engine start will happen at t plus 23 minutes, and the cutoff will happen at t plus 28 minutes. So this will ensure that the apogee here is raised from the parking orbit to the geosynchronous transfer orbit, which you can see in here. And after that, there is a long 5-hour coast, 5 hour 43 minutes coast. And here, when it reaches here, the third stage, the third start SES3 will happen. The second engine start 3 will happen. Then the cutoff will happen. Then finally the WFOV spacecraft separation, the booster separation, all those things will happen. So here it will try to circularize the orbit. Yes, the Centaur will do that. So after the parking orbit is achieved, it will start this engine here to achieve this geosynchronous orbit, and then all those the spacecraft will separate, the WFOV, the booster adapter separation, the ring spacecraft separation, and then the blowdown is nothing but the passivation of this the second stage. Most of probably they do they make sure the second stage is in the graveyard orbit, because it is obviously would be very very costly in terms of fuel to achieve a atmospheric perigee when it is in the geosynchronous orbit. So the satellites or the things which are in the geosynchronous orbit, what they try to do is they try to achieve a graveyard orbit. So nearby the geosynchronous orbit, we have a graveyard orbit wherein all the satellites which are decommissioned, which are not of use, and all like this Centaur orbiter, Centaur second stage, which will not be used again, will be sent to that graveyard orbit so that it does not interfere and collide with the other satellites in space. That is pretty much about it. And since we are talking about this geosynchronous orbit, let's have a look at how hard it is going to space. So this is the increasing difficulty which you can see, and surprisingly the most difficult one to go into is a geosynchronous direct injection, which it is trying to do now. Geosynchronous direct injection, here you can see which it is trying to do now, and it is the most difficult and complex thing to do because it has a very 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 long coast phase. The cryogenic temperature needs to be maintained at that point of time. The engine has to restart after such a long coast phase, and then the spacecraft is very sensitive at such a high apogee because of very low speed. So there you have that. But interestingly, if you see, Leo is the easiest one. Then we have the MTO, which is nothing but a medium transfer orbit, medium transfer orbit, which you can see here. This one is here. Then we have a GTO standard, which is difficult from the MTO one, which you can see here. And then we have the HEO mission, HEO orbit, which is again this is the increasing difficulty. So yeah, but here interesting part is this one, that the interplanetary missions are easier than a GTO or MEO direct injection or geosynchronous orbit direct injection. This is the main thing which you need to see. The interplanetary missions are easier, even they have to do the interplanetary mission obviously, but it is easier because it has to achieve a certain orbit. That's it. It has to achieve a certain orbit which escapes the Earth, and it does not have any coast phase or anything. It has to do that in one. So that's why it is easier to do that. But if you have to go to a geosynchronous orbit, which it is going today, then it has a long coast phase. It has to restart the engine. It has to make sure at that slow speeds it is able to achieve those orbital accuracy, and Centaur is a very, very, very capable upper stage, and I never doubt it will be able to achieve the mission parameters. But in interplanetary also you have this leeway, because you know there are those trajectory correction maneuvers done by the payload itself. So if anything goes wrong also, then also the payload can you know, do its job, do the rectification, but obviously that is not recommended. It would lead to loss of life for the loss of the time of life for the payload. Okay, now next thing is the pairing, the fairing, sorry, the fairing of the word, which you can see. This is the Proton fairing, the Proton rocket, the H2A rocket, the Falcon 9 and the Falcon Heavy. This is how it looks like. The Ariane 5, the Delta 4, and then comes the Atlas 5, the longest fairing. But obviously it has this um, the Centaur stage, but again the fairing is fairing. The fairing is the biggest one which the they have. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so now do we have a live stream yet? Yep, we do have a live stream, but they are holding right now. So there you go. Let us see if we have any other update. Nope, not any other update. So it is still brief light rain expected. It is still, we are still waiting for the weather to clear. I'm not so sure whether they have cleared that technical issue, because weather was red, but there was also a technical issue, if I can point out. um I can't find it right now, but there was some sensor issue which they found, but I think they must have resolved it already. That's why they are going on with the countdown and all those things. So yeah, I guess that is the case. So there is the latest update. Still, the weather is not so good right now. Only 20% go, but it improves to 60% at the end of the window. So let me just switch over to live stream. There you go, the official live stream we have in front of us. The live views of the rockets are in place and we are at hold. So let me just update that. So yeah, hold the weather. Okay, so Jason, we have as I said, the weather is not so good right now. The brief rain is expected shortly, and then although it's not looking cloudy from this view, but the brief rain is expected, and then we have a 2-hour launch window. So at the end of the launch window, the weather is expected to improve to 60%. Okay, so 3:30 hours. So this will again be a long night for me. Okay. Blowdown sounds like a Popeye maneuver. Okay. Um. Cool. Yes, Jason. I have a driving test tomorrow, so I am hoping that this one just gets we get to see an update very soon, or this rocket lifts off, or it is scrubbed for the day. We get to know that really very soon, because already 3:30 a.m. here and I have a driving test at 9 a.m. tomorrow. When do I sleep? When will I prepare for it? It's actually a first of all a proper written test kind of, and then the driving test will happen. So first I have to pass the written one, all those things, and then the other one. Okay. Okay, thanks, Mick Klaus. Hi, Audit Amplifier. Hi, Labrat. Welcome to the stream. Okay. I do need a sleep. I have been, this is the fourth launch of the day, 24 hours. I haven't, if you remember, first of all, the SES-22 mission happened at, it completed at around 4 a.m. or so. And then in my country time, and then it took me around, like, I slept at around 5 a.m. after doing all the research and the, you know, the, what should I say, the preparation for the next stream for the Virgin Orbit. Then I woke up at 8 a.m., did my breakfast, and then got to, and then sat over there to um, live stream the Virgin Orbit launch. But as soon as I started the stream, we got to know that it was scrubbed. So there was some relief for me at that point of time. But again, it did not last for long, because then I had to do some document submission, which I did. So was around 2 p.m. Then after that was completed, then at 6 p.m., at 5 p.m., basically, I have this ISRO launch. And ISRO launch is, I am very much excited from the ISRO's launches. So it was something which I was very excited for, and had dedicated my efforts for, because I had to make all those animations and all those things. So and that happened. Got some free time between 8 to 10 p.m. And then again I had to do all the preparations and everything for this stream. And then again tomorrow I have uh, the driving test. So I haven't slept, like, I have only slept for 3 to 4 hours last 24 hours. So yeah, very long and tiring day. Okay, thanks, Rocket Launch Mania. Storms with lightning and hole blowing through the Titusville now. Not looking very good at the moment. Yeah, let's. Also, I think we have we have some update also. Let me just see what is that update. Let me just turn on the music for you guys. Okay, so it's already on, so that's good. Okay, so the today's launch window is now open and remain available through the 8 p.m. EDT. Current weather at Cape is no go for the launch, but the team is waiting in hopes condition improve over the next 2 hours. Okay, so there you go. And talking about another update. Okay, a fourth. Oh wow! So there are like some weather rules which these which Atlas, which ULA follows. So we already had like three rules which had gone red, and now the latest update is a fourth weather rule has also gone red. That is associated with the annual clouds. So the cloudiness is, you can see that here. Already, yeah, it's evening time right now in US. So yeah, um, that is the case. It's the darkness is not because of the cloud, but it's the evening time there. Okay, so fourth rule, weather rule has gone red. So there you go, the latest update. How long will be the delay? We don't know for sure. We only know there is a 2-hour launch window, and we are in the launch window right now. So best we can do is wait for the launch, and maybe we can expect some light rain right now. Okay, the sun is still up. It's the clouds. Okay, so there is that. Um, yeah, other than that, we don't have any other update. Yep, I don't have any other update. Okay. So, guys, if you are just joining in, the latest update is that right now we are at a hold at T minus 4 minutes due to the weather. Weather is not at all looking good right now. There are certain rules for the weather, and four of those rules have gone red, which is not a good sign. But the teams are hoping to for the weather to improve by the end of the window. So, yeah, we'll have to wait. So, guys, if you like my efforts and whatever I do, please hit that like button. It would help me. And if you want to support me, do consider, please do consider becoming a member or a Patreon. Link is down in the description, because this channel survives through the members and the Patreon funding. So, yeah, you can, it would be really very much appreciated. Okay, so what is this rocket doing? What is its purpose? It is still standing on the pad. Right now it's venting because the liquid oxygen is topping off. The purpose is simple. It has to deploy some secret US Space Force and the Department of Defense satellites to space, specifically to Geosynchronous Orbit.
LC on 1.
Yeah, I'm stepping off. I have coverage.
Roger that.
So I guess if you have any questions, guys, you can surely ask me in the chat. But right now, I think I can just take a sweet time off, and you can listen to some tunes. In the meantime, I can make sure look for some other updates and get back to you whenever we have another update. Okay, so we have some question. Again, I was watching India's launch video earlier today. Wasn't able to watch the finishing watching. Wasn't able to watch finish watching as working. So, yep. Okay, cool. So the PSLV-CA was completely successful, and it did its primary job. The primary mission was completely successful. Secondary mission is still going on with that orbital platform of the spent upper stage, and that if you don't know, guys, India in just few hours before launched its PSLV rocket, and in that the last stage has been modified to be a stabilized orbital platform to host different payloads or experiments on it. This is the first time they are doing it, and in the future the Atlas V Centaur is also supposed to do that. It has to be recycled to host on other payloads and everything, and Nanorax is working with the Atlas ULA team to achieve that dream, to recycle the upper stages which are there in the orbit. So there you go. ISRO is always known for doing everything in cheap and optimizing every last bit of juice from all that money. So there is one example of that, the PS4 upper stage, which is otherwise would have just been deorbited, most probably will now be used and for other payloads and scientific experiments.
LC.
Yes.
RC on 1. Yeah, I'd like you to set up for another weather briefing at 22:55. Copy. 2255 Zulu. Affirmative.
Okay, so I thank you so much for that appreciation. Really appreciate it. What are those big towers for? Liam asks. So Liam, those big towers which you see are, it's a very interesting question, and it is very much relevant in this scenario right now. So right now it is, and someone just pointed out that Jason, lightning strike less than 7 miles away. So yes, those big 4 towers which you are seeing are the lightning protectors for the rocket. So whenever the lightning happens near the launch pad, those towers are made in such a way that the lightning will strike. So first of all, they are longer, so that helps. The lightning will strike them instead of the rocket. And we have seen in the past, especially with the Apollo mission, in the past, that the lightning can really, um, um, what should I say, play with the instrument, the onboard computers, or you can say the electronics of the rocket. Uh, that was the time of Apollo, so not so sure how much improvement they have made by that time till now. But we still don't want those lightning to be happening around the rocket, which is actually carrying those explosives with it. So yeah, I am pretty sure those lightning protections, that lightning protection is now accommodated and is now standard in all the rockets. But still, why to take a risk, right? So yeah, so those things which you are seeing, those are the lightning towers, which is supposed to catch the lightning strikes if anything happens near the pad. And if you ask me why that happens, the simple reason is because it is safer for you to go outside in a thunderstorm in a metal armor rather than a rubber suit, contrary to your belief. So yeah, this is how physics work, the electricity works. Electricity is very very fond of going through the metal. It loves metal.
Dorsey. Yeah, will just inform me that we are now in a phase 2 at complex 41. Expected clear time 2230 Zulu.
Roger, 2230. In phase 1. In phase 2.
Good copy.
So yeah, as I was saying, the electricity and lightning just loves metal. They just whenever they find metal, they will flow through it and won't even notice anything else in its vicinity. So if you are in a metal suit and lightning falls on you, or thunderstorm, thunder falls on you, you'll be fully safe, because that thunder will just flow through your metal armor to the earth. You won't even notice it. You won't even get anything, any pinch or any tickling, all those things. You won't even notice that. But if it's in a rubber suit and you are lucky enough to get unfortunate, I should say, unfortunate enough to get a lightning strike when you are having a rubber suit, boy, you are doomed. All that energy, everything, since that electricity will not get any path to flow, that energy will not flow anywhere, and that lightning, whatever energy it is carrying, um, will all be absorbed at that rubber suit at that point of contact. And obviously rubber is not so much good of absorbers of all those heat and electricity, so will explode, and doomsday for you. I'm happy for you. So yeah, the same principle is mm, you know um, applied here. Those lightning towers are made up of most conductive metal, so that lightning finds its way towards those lightning towers, and uh, the rocket is safe and sound near the pad. Okay, so wildflowers, those Russian made engines, are there any reason ULA hasn't cloned the design? International patent laws. So so they have this contract, obviously, you know uh whenever they have made this contract with the Russia, they would have signed this treaty that obviously they would not try to clone this one, and Russia will supply those engines. So there you go, that contract or whatever they signed with that contract. Some conditions would be there, and that would definitely ensure that this anything cloning of anything would not happen at all. And you know, to be sure, those engines are actually made in Russia. They are not made in US. There is not any factory controlled in US which are making Russian engines. No, nothing as such. So there you go. So yeah, I think they have some contract in which they'll only supply the engines, but they won't be able to clone it. So we have the latest update. We remain in a no-go status for liftoff due to adverse weather conditions in the local Cape area. Countdown clocks are holding at T-4 minutes to wait for the storm clouds to clear. We have until 8 p.m. EDT for the mission to begin. Night. Okay, so this is the now CC. I don't own any of the gas station. So wow, the birds are enjoying themselves, those rainy birds, whatever you wanna say. Okay, so yeah, why not? This difference between a turboshaft engine and electrically powered one. So see, in the electrical powered one, we have a motor, okay, which drives the turbo pumps, and in the normal ones, like the engine which you will see today, the RD180 engine for the Atlas V, runs on turbo pumps powered by the turbines. So the difference between both of them is that those electrically one are controlled by the battery. Those are controlled by the software. There is literally a motor which rotates the turbo pumps, okay, so that anything if the speed of that rotation can be controlled very smoothly with the help of the software, because it's a electrical motor, and you can control the speed of an electrical motor very easily with the help of a software. And in case of the turboshaft engine, that is not the case. So that is a purely mechanical engine with nothing as such of any sort of electrical thing in it. So since it is purely mechanical, so there are certain cycles of the engines which comes into place. So we have a gas generator cycle, which is very common in rocket engines, in those turboshaft engines. The gas generator cycle is there, the stage combustion cycle is there. The stage combustion is a very fuel efficient because it's a closed cycle, and it is there in this RD180 engine. So that is the stage combustion cycle. Then we have a full flow stage combustion cycle, which is there in the Raptor, which is the most efficient by far till now. So there you go, those are the engine cycle which you have. And there are, since this is a mechanical engine, so those they have their cycles also, though. So whatever I told you, those are certain engine cycle. We also have other engine cycle also. I think the Centaur runs on what was that cycle? I'm forgetting the name, but yeah, there are certain cycles which you will see. But for the electrical engines, there is one cycle only, the pump fed cycle. That's why they are known as pump fed engines. So I hope I have made myself clear. And see those clouds, guys. Oh my god. Things are not looking good at all. The weather is totally red right now. The clouds are not looking good. So there you go. Does it make it better for being a battery powered engine? So it has its own pros and cons. When you have a small sat launcher, you are most probably inclined to go for a battery powered or electric pump fed engine. So the Electron launcher the Astra's LV0003. Then we have the launcher one from Virgin Orbit. These all use this electric pump fed cycle because the engines are very simple. And when you have a small sat launcher, you want your engine to be very efficient as well as simple, because you don't want any dead weight of those engines to be carried with you, when you can just put a very simple engine by
LCRC.
Go
uh,
RC.
Yes, Elwo just informed me that we have cleared the phase 2 for complex 41. However, we are still, or the 5 nautical ring is cleared now as well.
Roger.
so yeah, so right now still good. The weather is this weather is scary, this weather is what when you see this kind of weather in horror movies, or when something is about to happen, something bad is about to happen. That is the weather right now. So anyways, so yeah, as I was talking about, those small sat launchers have those electric pump fed because it makes much more sense. It is easier to control. The design is very much simple, because um, the speed can be controlled by the proper motor, and it is the weight of the engine is very less, so you can but the con is that you need a battery, right? There you need that battery to power those engines. So for a small sat, you can have a battery pack with you, which is not very large, because it has to burn for a relatively a shorter period of time, and has to uh, work the energy which it has to give to the engines is relatively less, obviously comparatively less, in comparison to a large rocket like a Falcon 9 or this one, the Atlas V. So there the battery pack would be so huge that it would not make sense to have an electric pump fed engine in that case. So in that case, you can just go on with the proper mechanical engines, so which is a good trade off, because then the weight of the engine which it will have can provide you enough thrust without getting obviously that battery weight with you. So yeah, it's a trade off. Normally this trend is followed in the small sat launchers, but if the battery technology improves, you might see those technology going inside the bigger launchers too, because obviously it is more easier to make a electric pump fed engine, and it is more easier to control it also. Okay, so let me just have some rest now, and you listen to some tunes, and I will be back with whenever there is any update. So right now, obviously the weather is not good, so yeah.
Roger. LD net 1.
LD on 1.
MD net 1.
MD on 1.
Proceed, AC.
Okay, we have thoroughly reviewed this loss of this one of three transducers. The PU team provided a very thorough review of attacks to flight with this condition and up to and including a loss of the other two transducers. We have maintained and will maintain adequate margins to performance if that were to occur. So we have the PU software will perform as expected and keep our margins good. We are recommending proceeding. We do need to disable this transducer, so Flumon does not react to it. That'll be disabled for option 356. We'll need to transfer to the backup CCLS using option 569, and that will be a function by OS. But our overall recommendation is to proceed.
LC copies and concurs. LD.
LD copies and concurs.
MD.
MD copies and concurs.
OS, LC.
Go.
Are you ready to disable the parameter using option 356 and then configuring the backup using option 569 for the team direction?
Yes.
Proceed and report.
All right, so the latest update is the countdown clocks are holding at T-4 minutes and we have not yet selected a resumption time. The inclement weather conditions at Cape have prevented a launch of the Atlas V thus far tonight, but the team is postured to resume the count if the meteorologists see a break. So still, we are still hopeful, but nope, not looking good right now. Well, talking about these options, I think these are the checkpoints, I guess. Um, Jason, so these why do they have this T minus countdown for every rocket? Because a rocket launch is a controlled explosion which you are playing with. So you need to have each and everything, whatever you are having in the rocket, to be performing perfectly fine, then only the rocket will launch successfully. So there are like thousands and thousands of checks which is performed before a rocket is launched. So that T minus is nothing but that countdown timer, that is nothing fancy or some sort of that. Actually has some sense to it, has some importance to it, because there those checklist is checked at a certain point of time in the countdown. So yeah, that's how works. So this option 365, option 569 most probably is the
LCOS on 1.
checklist
Go
which
ahead.
they are mentioning to.
Measurement has been disabled and 569.
Roger. All right, for a team on net 1, this is LC for a status update. We are tracking no anomalies at this time. All anomalies are cleared. We are tracking 4 weather constraints. We do have another weather briefing currently planned for 22:55 Zulu to readdress weather for the window. So all personnel maintain system readiness and report LC of any issues.
So yeah, right now what he said is that, as I said, there was one technical issue also with the Atlas V. So that errant sensor issue
LC, this flight control.
has
Go
been
flight control.
resolved now.
Yeah, I just want to confirm you're going to wait for final prep, flight control, final prep still after the weather briefing?
Yeah, that's affirmative. And what we're targeting is so we don't burn the that requirement for our billows. So we'll wait to look to see if we have positive margin for weather. We're exercising that.
Roger, that's what I thought.
Roger. Thanks for the coordination.
Roger.
0406 with an SDL-CRC of 4 Foxtrot 3 Foxtrot.
Roger, and we'll do that contingency load for Operation 60, Step 210. Flight Control, LC, Net 1.
Go ahead, this flight control.
Yeah, load contingency file adjust AB 094 underscore 06 with SDL CRC 4 Foxtrot 3 Foxtrot.
In work.
Go Flight Control.
Contingency file address underscore AB094 underscore 06 with SDL-CRC 4 Foxtrot 3 Foxtrot has been verified and loaded in state.
Roger. LC, at 1.
RC on 1.
Please conduct a weather briefing on weather conference channel 8.
Roger.
LD, LC, at 1.
LC, this is LD.
Yeah, LD, with that weather briefing, I recommend we schedule another weather briefing at 2325 and make a decision at that point whether we want to turn on hydraulics or do the operational hydraulics.
Yes, sir. I'd like to do it at 2320 if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 2320 weather brief update. Thank you.
Roger. And RCU copy, we'll plan another weather briefing at 2320.
RC copy is 2320 Zulu.
Alright guys, so they said another weather briefing at some time, but the latest weather briefing which happened right now was that the launch weather officer Jessica Williams has relayed her latest assessment of current conditions to the mission leadership. We remain red on 4 cloud and lightning weather rules, and listen to this, optimism is fading that storms will clear by the end of the launch window. So that's a big bummer. Another briefing is planned at 7:20 EDT. So yes, right now we are red on 4 cloud and lightning weather rules, and not so hopeful for the weather to clear up by the end of the launch window. That's great. Wow. But still, the Florida weather is like this only. It is very notorious. Sometimes it behaves like this, but since it is notorious, so we can't predict it. It may also happen that in just next 10 minutes the weather is like so good and they start launching it. But let's see. Okay, so the music was loud. Did you hear me? What I said? Are you able to hear me properly? You can't. Okay, let me just repeat once again. So I said the latest update from the office is that the launch weather officer Jessica Williams has relayed her latest assessment of current conditions to the mission leadership. We remain red on 4 cloud and lightning weather rules, and optimism is fading that the storms will clear by the end of the launch window. So right now things are not looking good at all. It is still red on all 4 conditions, and still it's not looking good by the end of the launch window. But I was saying that Florida weather is notorious, right? We don't know how it behaves, and since it is notorious, it may happen that in next 10 minutes a good launch weather happens and it just launches. So can't say for sure, but let's see.
RC, Net 8.
This is the LO on Net 8.
Please stand by.
Standing by.
This is RC on Weather Conference Net 8. Indicate ready to proceed. LD,
LD.
MD,
MD.
LV1,
LV1.
and DE.
DE.
Please proceed, LO.
All right, so you should be looking at a radar. This is getting the low-level image, so it doesn't have all that anvil cloud convoluting it. So what we see here is we did get that line kind of build in from west to northeast of the pad and fill in. We are also starting to see new cumulus clouds forming just west of the pad. So things are actually looking worse than they were on the last briefing. It's looking more confident that we will remain no-go through the end of the window. It also looks like you could get some rain at the pad shortly after 0Z with the stuff filling in and moving towards the east-northeast. And we'll keep monitoring that and notify you if it looks to be moderate or heavy precip. And here's our other radar, which shows the anvil clouds extending well south of the pad. It looks like we could clear the attached anvil clouds perhaps first around 0Z, but the problem is really mainly our lightning will keep us no-go. We've got fresh strokes really just outside of 5 nautical miles to the north of the pad, and red is the latest. We also have stuff trying to creep in from the south, right at 10 nautical miles on the western edge, trying to creep in from the west. So we would have to have no red strokes inside that 10 nautical mile ring by 23:28 Zulu in order to get the 30-minute countdown timer to go down by, for us to notify that we're green for the lightning rule, to go down in time for the last minute of the window at 0 Zulu. Not only that, we are still red for the surface electric field mill rule, and they have not started to count down for their 15-minute countdown timer yet, and they will not start to count down until we get a little bit of a cool-off in the lightning within about 10 nautical miles of the launch pad. But we expect to clear the cumulus cloud rule last with all of these cumulus clouds associated with thunderstorm activity moving in from the west and continuing to remain within 10 nautical miles. They are all well above the height for a within 10 nautical mile concern, the cumulus cloud rule, and we expect them to stick around inside of 10 nautical miles through 0 Zulu. So we have updated our estimated clear times for the surface electric fields rule for 0Z, the lightning rule, and the cumulus cloud rule for 0030Z, 30 minutes after the end of the window, and the attached anvil cloud rule for 0 Zulu. This concludes the weather brief. Are there any questions?
RC has no questions. Indicate questions are acknowledged. LD.
Hello, stand by just one moment.
Standing by.
Hello, would like to check back with you one more time. Please plan to give us one more update at 23:30.
Copy that.
No other questions from LD.
Copy. MD,
No other questions from MD.
LV1,
LV1.
and DE.
DE.
Thank you, LO.
Okay, so there you go, guys. We got the latest weather briefing, and it is not looking good. Jessica said it is looking worse than before, and it's not a good time to launch. We might see the cumulus cloud condition to be green, but other weather rules, there are like 4 of them right now red. Other weather rules will remain red, but we still the LD has requested for another weather briefing at 7:30, I guess. Yep, 7:30 p.m. So we should be getting another weather briefing in just 5 minutes or so. So uh, so yes, the latest weather is update is weather is observed and forecast no go for the liftoff within the remaining launch window at Cape this evening, according to the launch weather officer Jessica. But still, we have like 4 minutes for now for another weather update, but it is not looking good. You know, it's like the the LD is just hoping and praying that the weather clears up in the next 4 minutes or so. But you know, that's not how it works. So let's see. Okay, okay, Rocket Launch Mania. I hope you will catch you in the next stream. So talking about the next stream, so that is a big question for me because um, you know, the launches are scheduled. That's not a problem, but you know, I am starting a new phase job and also not so sure whether I'll be able to stream the launches. Have to wait and see. But for sure, I'll you know, make some update videos and things that you need to know about a mission so that you get to see that before the launch happens.
RC, LC, at 1.
RC on 1.
Please conduct a weather brief, Channel 8, weather conference.
Roger. Oh, RC net 8.
This is Elwell on Net 8,
Please stand by.
standing by.
This is RC on weather conference net 8. Indicate ready to proceed. LD.
LD.
MD.
MD.
LB1.
LB1.
DE.
DE.
Please proceed, Elwell.
Okay, you should be looking at the intercloud lightning. We have plenty of fresh lightning strikes between 5 and 10 nautical miles, both to our west-northwest and to our north. This lightning, there's no way to get out of a 30-minute timer, with the exception of having no cumulus clouds within 10 nautical miles, which is going to be near impossible to do in the next 30 minutes due to the radar and a new cumulus cloud thunderstorm building just west of us and moving in. This is also likely going to give you a moderate, potentially brief period of heavy rain right around 0015 Zulu as it approaches the pad. So things are looking closer to a 99% POV at 0 Zulu. Are there any questions?
No questions from the RC. Indicate questions are acknowledged, LD.
LWO, if you wouldn't mind, could you go ahead and take us through tomorrow's briefing?
Sure. I have not changed the forecast for tomorrow. Honestly, it's
Right, so they cut the briefing for the tomorrow's launch. So it's a scrub for today. That's what um, we might see now. Just still waiting for the official scrub to happen. No date yet for new launch. Launch can happen tomorrow, as she said. So have to wait and see. Let's see. Right now, it is according to the latest weather briefing. The weather is not looking good for the launch, and most probably this is going to be a scrub for today. Oh, right. Still waiting for the official word to come out. Yep.
LC, LD, Channel 1.
Go LD.
Mission Director has declared a scrub for today's operations. Please prepare the team for a 24-hour recycle.
Roger, scrub with the 24-hour recycle. We'll proceed into scrub detanking up. All right, team, LC, Net 1, great effort getting us into this attempt. Fortunately, weather's not cooperating with us today. So we'll proceed in Operation 90.
All right,
Flight control.
guys. So there you go. We have the official update now that the weather has been scrubbed for today, and the reason is the weather. And yes, we just saw a lightning bolt also. So yes, they thankfully they didn't launch it. Launch it in this weather. So yeah, there's that. But right now, um Another launch attempt will be possible in 24 hours with tomorrow's target liftoff time at 6 EDT. And the preliminary weather briefing is 60% go for tomorrow, as it is same as of today. So yeah, F's in the chat, guys, and if you remember, you can use the F emoji. So yep, so there you go. The latest update is this only, that the today's attempt has been scrubbed. We'll meet again tomorrow. And yes, now it's 5 a.m. here. I need to go and take some sleep before heading out. So thank you so much for tuning in. Weather is a big, what should I say? A big problem nowadays with the rockets sometimes. So there's that. But right now, we'll see another weather postponed launch. As you can see, the latest update. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. 6 EDT is the liftoff time, so we'll see you tomorrow again the same time. And until then, this is Priyanshurula. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye.